Gemini, this week is going to feel and seem rougher than it is, and I'll explain why. We'll get into the astrology and then we'll move into the cards. This is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. It is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I always create an extended reading and that link is below. I hope you'll join me for it. It's just a deeper look into the cards and it just continues the message. You can also join my Unbound channel membership and get unlimited access to all the extended readings for the life of your membership and all the channel perks. So consider it. A new Gemini video comes out every single week, 8:30 a.m. on Thursdays. That's over here in Pacific time, 8:30 a.m. So remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. And Gemini, join me for a daily tarot card reading. I do general daily live chat tarot card readings Monday through Friday on my second YouTube channel, Astrology Motivation. I will attach the link above. So let's get into the astrology. The major aspect that is impacting, well, there's a couple that's impacting Mercury throughout this week and into next week is the square to Saturn. And I'll explain how that affects you. Also at one point, there's also a semi-square. I believe it's a semi-square to Jupiter. And I think it's a semi-square to the moon. This is an emotional time for you. There's also another aspect that's going to be majorly impacting you for a while, and that is the direct opposition to the South Node. Why is this such an emotional time for you? Also, there is Mercury retrograde. Mercury is still in retrograde and will be in retrograde until June 3rd, which is actually just tomorrow. It's just Friday, but we'll still feel the impact of that throughout the end of next week. But I promise you, by the end of next week, you will start to feel a lightening. And by that full moon in Sagittarius on Monday the 14th, I believe it's Monday, there's going to be such a release and an energetic relief that you'll finally be able to experience, I think, the joy that's been building up. Right now, that square to Saturn is making you think that things are worse than they are. It's making you just like carry an extra weight, think more heavily, maybe think about things more heavily or take them more seriously than they really are. You could also have some clashes with a father figure, a parental figure, or an authority figure where just the words don't come out right, or they're misunderstanding your words, misinterpreting your words, or they're just causing you a lot of stress. Something about authority is causing you a lot of tension. And then, of course, there's that emotional aspect with that semi-square to the moon where things just don't feel right. Like your mind and your emotions aren't in sync. In fact, they're clashing. Because honestly, there might be something to be happy about, but you're not completely happy or you can't completely feel the joy. It's almost like maybe you can understand something, but it hasn't completely sunken in. That's all because of the opposition to the South Node. Because there's still some tension between you and your past. And there's stuff coming up from the past that you're going to have to deal with this week in order for you to truly and completely feel good about where you are right now. There's just still so much tension there. These might be things left unsaid. These might be just stuff that keeps coming up, paperwork that you have to do, stuff that will continue to irritate you or hold you back, or in ways, people not being able to release the image they had of you from the past. Right? Like in some ways, it could even be you repeating your same behaviors that are holding you back. And it may not be bad behaviors, Gemini. It may just be that these behaviors aren't getting you anywhere new, but you're having a hard time letting them go. Move on toward your North Node, which is more challenging for you, but simultaneously, it's what's going to help you grow. The universe wants you to grow. It wants to push you out of the comfort zone. And ultimately, there's going to be a clash here, almost like I don't want to. I like my comfort zone. Well, you're not allowed to anymore. You can't stay there. bad things are actually not happening to you. It's actually very beautiful things and huge liberations. But a lot of times when we've had chains around us for a long time, when they drop off, they pull off skin, and there's atrophy where they were, and it is almost like you want the chains back because it hurt less, because we respond to pain, right? But ultimately that pain is healing. There's liberation here. And by the time we get to that moon in Sagittarius, we can just let everything go and really be able to be ready to expand and grow. And that is really what you can expect for the next week and a half in terms of the astrology. Let's get into the cards. Tell me what you need. Tell me, what does Gemini need to know, God? Yes, somebody here is reluctant to allow you to live something down, because ultimately I think it clashes with their concept of reality, and it means that they'll have to change and they don't want to change. So they keep talking to you or treating you like the way that they feel safe with you. It's not right, it's not fair, it's not okay, but they are definitely exposing themselves by the way they treat you. Just wanted to say that. Set healthy boundaries. That's not the only card I'm going to give to you, but ultimately it's the first card that came out. This is Cancerian energy. I think that you do need to set boundaries. Healthy boundaries are described as appropriate, right? There's a sense of sometimes you need the Great Wall of China, sometimes you don't need anything. Sometimes you need a picket fence, sometimes you need a barbed wire fence. It depends on what you're dealing with. And you have to be sure that you're putting the right boundaries in place, because in some cases you don't need anything to help you out. You don't want to overburden yourself. You don't want to set up walls everywhere you go. And I think that this is what's happening, because walls are coming down now and they're crumbling. And you have the ability to participate in the rebuilding of them, especially when it comes to your identity and how people see you. But are you getting in your own way? Are you holding on to these old antiquated concepts that what you thought was cool when you were a kid, right? Like what I wanted to be when I grew up when I was 5 doesn't have to be what I want to be when I grow up when I'm 45. You're supposed to change. And if you haven't changed, there's some sort of like tether, like it pulling you back, and it needs to be released. It needs to be, because even you're ready to grow, and if you don't grow, you don't continue. Like you have to be willing to let something go. I don't mean that you have to let it go if somebody else is repressing you. Then that could also be set healthy boundaries. Somebody needs to be told about themselves. You need to make certain that people do not treat you in a way that is unbecoming to the respect you know you deserve. So this could also be a sense of be on guard, because people are still going to try to bully you this week or use words to bully. So Gemini. Rebirth is assured. Yeah, this is a sense of somebody doesn't want you to grow up, or somebody doesn't want you to move on. Somebody wants to keep you like, or you, like something here. This is a reluctance to. It's like you're defending yourself against change, and that ain't gonna go over very well. But I think it has to do with the stubbornness of Saturn. It's almost like you don't want to change because somebody else told you to. You don't want to change because somebody asked you to. But I also think it's your effect on authority itself. This sense of they don't want to change. Something here, they don't want to change. And so you have to defend yourself against them, because they won't accept that you've moved on. They won't accept that you've changed, right? There's just this sense of, okay, well, that's offensive to me now then, because I have changed and I'm not that person. And this is just, I tell you this right now, it is not worth fighting with this energy. The only way you fight this energy is to live your truth. They are exposing themselves for what they are. You do not have to do any fucking work at all here except to show that you have grown. And once again, in any ways that you're keeping yourself back or you're being, this is your own stubbornness, why are you blocking this? You have to confront those fears, and you will confront those fears before that full moon in Sagittarius. And that is really when you will legitimately be burst open, ripped open, and face your fears and be able to move on. It's coming quick. I just think that you're resistant to it. Know your worth. So, okay, little skunk on a flower. You're allowed to be whoever you want to be. It doesn't have to make sense to other people. It doesn't even have to make sense to the old you. Know your worth. Set healthy boundaries. A rebirth is assured. There's this energy here. Somebody's trying to hold you back. This is like, I don't know who is this? Gemini. Gemini. Who is this? What is this? Something fell into my lap. So I have Hawk Spirit. Let Spirit be your guide. Time for a beginner mind, and time to collaborate. So this is a collaborative effort between many different people who are essentially it's almost like, because they could have come out sideways, this is a sense of, okay, moving forward. A collective consciousness, because that's Aquarius energy, of how are we going to move forward. This is a person who wants to move forward in a specific way and has a specific idea of how everybody fits into it and how everybody is supposed to behave. Because that's the question that I asked. Life is speeding up. This is Gemini. You are battering against this. Something that you're doing is battering against it. So in other words, you represent progress. This other force represents artificial progress in the name of actually keeping things the same. And so they're not ready. They're not ready. What I don't like about this energy is that they are definitely blocking you. Upright for you guys, what this means is, let Spirit be your guide. Trust your gut. It's not in your mind. Your mind is almost going to think too harshly about things. Like I said, it's going to be hypercritical right now. Trust your gut. Your gut is what God speaks through. And then Porcupine Spirit, time for a beginner mind. Clear your mind. Start over in your brain. It's saying that you've never been here before. You wouldn't know the difference. And the only way you'd make a decision when you're brand new to something is by bringing in your old prejudices. What we need is a clean slate. Don't bring in your old prejudices. Remain open, right? Don't bring in your old prejudices. You got away from the past, not to rebuild it, right? So if you're going to bring it in with you, then you're going to rebuild with it. You don't want to rebuild the past again. You want it to be behind you. Open up. Time to collaborate. There's something new that you need to try. A new partnership that you need to take. It's time to work with new people, different people, people who are sort of constructing with the same mindset. It could be legitimately constructing something. Like you could legitimately be working with a crew who is legitimately constructing something. And that's going to start moving forward. But you are really butting heads, I think, with maybe laws, maybe red tape, maybe certifications, stuff like that. If this is about actually building something. Also, a new kind of partner to see things in a different way. Or a renewal or a refreshment. No, not an old partner. You guys don't like to look back when it comes to partners. And you're the only sign that I really know of. Leave the comments below. Let me know how many of you have actually tried to go back to an old partner. Geminis usually don't do this. Once a Gemini is done with you, they're done. They're not interested in going back. But they also have, you guys also have an interesting adaptation of being able to remain friends with your exes somehow, because you really don't, you can let, unless they really did something bad to you, you can just let that shit go. You don't hold grudges. I know people will say you will, but that's only toward people who you felt have somehow repressed your freedom or tried to make you look bad, aka making you face your evil twin. Sometimes it can be your own comeuppance, but it doesn't matter because you can't force it on you. It's not right to force it on you. So ultimately, everybody else, you can usually be really good friends with your exes, and you don't usually go back. So I feel like this is, you're trying something new. Nothing is going to move quickly right now. Mercury is still in retrograde, so you still have fog brain. And everybody else is still all kinds of in a kerfuffle. And then Saturn is beating down on you with that square. So you're going to be extra hard on yourself for not being able to process the information correctly. Do something where you feel at home, where you feel secure, where you know that you're good at, something that calms you and something that grounds you. That's just the best way to deal with this energy right now, because it's not your fault and you can't make anything move until it's ready to fucking move, and it's not going to be ready to move until, I would say, the end of next week, like I said, or the beginning of the following. So the end of next week, we're at Thursday. So Thursday through next Thursday, around next Thursday, you will start to feel a relief, and by that full moon, there's good stuff coming. But let's go deeper into this. Let Spirit be your guide, a beginner mind. Time for a beginner mind and collaborate. I feel like you're just starting to collaborate on something brand new. There's a new collaboration here that's coming for you. And then we have DNA. So this has to do with healing, but it has to do with deep healing, like perceptional healing, like this sense of like realizing that you can change yourself. So this tells me that you are legitimately changing everything that you are, like from the cellular level up, deep down inside. Allow this transition to happen to you, because it's no small thing. I want to get the moon card. No, I want to get the no. I want to get these. Gemini. Winter. Take care of your needs. Yeah. Broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace. Okay. I'm going to say this to you right here, right now. And this is extremely important. Understand that if you don't want to fight, you don't have to. Stop letting people bully you into thinking that you have to defend yourself in a specific way. The best defense for you right now is to just say, fuck off. You don't matter to me, and walk away. Like, that's the best boundary, is to just take yourself out of the situation and have, especially if this is a person, have them not be in your life anymore. Like, you don't have to care. Everybody else is going to tell you, but you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to just stop with the pressure. I don't have to do anything. I need to move on with my life. I need to move on with, and I want to focus on the new and the next step. I don't even want them to be a memory. That's a beautiful mindset. That is exactly the mindset you should be having. Don't let somebody tell you that's not the way to do it. You have to do it my way. You don't have to do it their way, and you could be a trailblazer to show that that's just not true. You get to define your own freedom, okay? Nobody else. Broken arrow. Embrace the energy of peace and take care of your needs. So you let yourself have the peace that you need based on what it is you actually need, not based on anything else. Take care of your needs. Self-healing. Embrace the energy of peace. Broken arrow. You refuse to fight. And this is telling me, oh, stop. You're going to win a fight. I don't think it's I don't know what it is. It seems like a fight of wisdom, but you're going to win a fight. Your needs are going to be met and taken care of, and you're happy with the outcome. I don't know who needed to hear that. We have elder, move beyond ancestral patterns. And this was that struggle. Remember I talked to you about the astrology right now? This is the struggle between Mercury and the South Node, the opposition. Mercury in retrograde, opposite the South Node, you're just stuck in your past. You're stuck reminiscing in it. You're stuck reliving it. And the only reason why you're stuck reliving it is because you haven't dealt with it. And you will continue to relive it until you look at it and face it. But if you are looking at it and if you are facing it, as hard as it is, all those hard knocks, you are about to be liberated from it. You are about to overcome it. This is you saying, not anymore, no longer. I don't have to do what has been done in the past. And I don't have to let myself keep being hurt. I feel like you're ready to forgive. You're ready to let go. And you're ready to move on. And that shouldn't make you feel weak. That should make you feel enlightened. Because that's what you are. And you're definitely changing your DNA, which means I refuse to be who you were. And like I said, there was this clash between a father figure or some sort of parental figure when you're square to Saturn. There could be some major clashes, this sense of, stop trying to make me in your image. You don't get to decide. I'm choosing my own way. Let's go to the extended. I can't wait to have you over there.